Hi, and welcome to your Urban Connections. Remember, this is the channel that is often imitated, but is never duplicated. Now, remember, folks, we on this show particularly come to you to educate and inform you, not entertain you. And today, I have what I think is news you can use. Now, if you're over the age of 5 years old, you probably have heard the cliche, there's no such thing as a free lunch. And today, we're going to confirm that to you. But let me remind you that this show is brought to you through courtesy of Squeegee Squad, your commercial high-rise window cleaning business. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you some of the most trusted names in the restaurant business, and probably some other businesses or industries do it too. But we're going to talk today about some of the names that you know and trust to be honest with you and transparent with you. Do just the opposite. So let me give you a few examples here. Certain restaurants, and I'm going to name three for you, but certainly there are more. And this scam, I'm going to call it a scam, is probably prevalent throughout the industry. But these three, Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, and McDonald's, are three of the industry that we know for a fact are doing this. So here's the deal. They will promise you that if you order a delivery item from their menu or items, the delivery will be free. And let me tell you what the deal is, ladies and gentlemen. When we say there's no such thing as a free lunch, I'm for real. So here's the deal. Let's say you go to Chick-fil-A and you order, let's just say a 30-piece, I don't know if it's a bucket or packet, of chicken nuggets. And you order them for delivery through either DoorDash or Uber Eats or one of the others. And you're expecting a free delivery. Well, that's not the way it works. So here's the deal. I want to educate you guys and inform you so you'll be on the lookout, because Chick-fil-A has just been fined $4.4 million after having been found guilty of this practice. So here's the deal. What they will do without telling you is that the price of those chicken nuggets, if you go in their restaurant and sit down and eat them, is one price. But if you order them for delivery, they mark up the price of those chicken nuggets by $5 to $6 to cover your delivery fee. Okay? So same thing goes for Chipotle, same thing goes for McDonald's, and I'm sure a bunch of the others. So be aware. Check your receipts. Check what you have paid to either DoorDash or Uber Eats or any of those other delivery services to find out if the price you paid is the same as the price that's on the menu at that particular restaurant. Because you're going to find more often than not, it is not the same. You will find out that what you thought was a free delivery was marked up from the restaurant sit down and eat price, marked up by 25 to 30% for delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that these are names that you love the food. Look, there's no question that Chick-fil-A probably has one of the best chicken sandwiches of anybody in the industry. But it's not so good that I want you to mark up the price of it by 25 to 30% just because I order it to be delivered. And if you do that, give me the option to saying no. Tell me up front that delivery is going to cost you an additional 25 or 30% or whatever. Be transparent. Be honest with me. I'll respect you more and I'll patronize you more if you're honest. Don't just take me for granted because I like the taste of your chicken nuggets or the taste of your chicken sandwich or anything else on your menu. Same goes with Chipotle. Just because I like your plates or I like your burritos or whatever, don't take me for granted. Nothing says that I want your food so badly unless I give you my authority for you to mark up the price instead of telling me or having me believe that I'm getting a free delivery when you simply marked up the price of your goods. That's not honesty. That's not the way you build up trust, ladies and gentlemen. And these restaurant owners should know better. What happens when you get caught, you will lose revenue because nobody wants to deal with somebody that they think is getting over on them. So I want to just bring this to your attention today because most people are not aware of this, but this is going on a daily basis all over the country. It's not in one city, it's all over the country because these are all national food chains we're talking about here. All right. So I want you people to be aware of what's going on. And that's why we do this show, is to keep you aware, keep you informed. Now, inflating prices on delivery food has been around since before the pandemic. But lately, customers are noticing extreme price inflation, and they don't like it. And I don't blame them. And I can see why they would like it. Because you have an obligation to tell me up front what the real deal is. Is the price going to be the same if I sit down and eat it in your restaurant as it is if you put it in a package and send it to me, have it delivered through Uber Eats or DoorDash or any others? Be honest, be upfront. Don't take me for granted and then think that you have taken advantage of me, that you've run a scam on me. That is not the way to do business. And when these customers find out what you're doing, they do what some of these people have done. They file lawsuits. And in this particular case, there was a class action lawsuit filed against Chick-fil-A. And the government found out that there was merit to that lawsuit. And they fined them $4.4 million. So I just want you to know, and like I said, it's just not these three. These three have been pointed out, but I'm going to tell you, this is prevalent throughout the industry. Okay, so when you want to order food to go, beware. That's all I want to tell you. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk a little bit about Squeegee Squad. You know, if you are a high-rise office building, hospital, bank, or if you live in an apartment complex, all of these are candidates for the services of Squeegee Squad. Okay? They love to do multi-story buildings. It doesn't matter if it's 5 stories, if it's 10 stories, if it's 20 stories. That's music to their ears. All right? They love to do it, and they do it professionally. They've been trained, and all their employees are licensed and insured. Okay? So if anything happens, don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. You're covered. They're covered. So you can count on these guys to do a professional job every time, and their aim is to please. So if you have a multi-story building with windows, and you know what I like to say? If the windows are not clean, the building is not clean, okay? So you want clean, professionally clean windows, see the people at Squeegee Squad. Now, let me give you the phone number for a free estimate, okay? 316-202-6020. And listen, they not only do business in Kansas, they do business in surrounding states, Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska, Missouri. They do it all over, okay? So give them a call. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about another story that's happened yesterday here in the city of Wichita. The city council on yesterday morning heard from proponents of the Crown Act. Now, those of you that don't know what the Crown Act is, it's an act against discrimination based on hairstyles, hair colors, and hair in any form or shape against individuals. Now, normally, it's not always the case, but normally these discrimination cases are against Black men and women who choose to wear their hair in styles that some may consider inappropriate. Now, those styles would be maybe cornrows, braids in cornrows, dreadlocks, in some cases, the color of your hair. There was a case in North Carolina where a young lady was sent, speaking of Chick-fil-A, a young lady was sent home 16 years old who'd worked at Chick-fil-A for 3 years. And she had braids, and they were long braids. And they were neatly styled, but a supervisor, now the woman, this hair had worked for 3 months. When she was hired, her hair was the same color that it was when they sent her home for the day, told her to go home from work, and she could come back once she had changed the color of her hair to what they consider a natural color. Now, what is a natural color? She's a 16-year-old Black female, all right? What is the natural color for a 16-year-old Black female? So anyhow, what happened was, after working there for 3 months, a supervisor, I guess one of the regional supervisors, whatever, happened to be visiting her store, and he noticed her braids and he noticed the color. Now, this is a color she's had for 3 months now, and she's been working there every day. But all of a sudden, this guy, I assume it was a guy, this person did not like the fact that she was wearing braids in the color blonde. All right. So they told the local store supervisor to send her home and tell her to change her hair color. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is discrimination. And the Crown Act has been passed to ratify this discrimination in 24 states now. But it's not a state law in Kansas. But I can here to tell you right now, thanks to the city council, as of yesterday, the Crown Act is a law in Wichita. All right. So therefore, no employer, no school district, no housing person can reject you or discriminate you or tell you that your hair style and your hair color is inappropriate for their school, for their on your job, okay, and in housing. It's against the law to discriminate based on hairstyles and hair colors, okay? So just remember that. Now, these school districts around the country are formulating policies that are targeting young Black males and females who are wearing what they would deem inappropriate hairstyles and hair colors. And they've been getting away with it. There's a case in Texas where there's a young 18-year-old high school student who, as we speak right now, is on suspension, has been on a suspension since October the 6th or whatever, and he's out until November the 30th, simply because he wanted to wear his hair in dreadlocks, but he didn't have them in hanging dreadlocks. He had them bundled up. It was all close to his head, okay? But it was deemed unsuitable for a high school in near Houston, Texas. All right. Now, needless to say, his parents have filed a lawsuit against the school. First of all, this is not the first time that this same school has been found guilty of this type of discrimination. All right. So the Crown Act has been passed in the state of Texas. So the school district is violating the Crown Act against hair discrimination. But I just wanted to pass that along to you that it is against the law now in Wichita for any school district, any employer to discriminate against you based on your hairstyle. Okay. Okay. Now, I want to tell you one other thing. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many of you know this, but in Topeka, a little over 2 weeks ago, a 5-year-old child was killed after the DCF had refused to address complaints that were coming from neighbors, from friends, from relatives of this 5-year-old girl to remove her from the custody of her legal parents. Now, there were several reasons for this. First of all, she was living in unsafe conditions, unhealthy conditions. She was living with these people, her parents, who didn't have running water, didn't have electricity, okay? And there were other issues with the parents. The mother was on drugs, doing drugs, okay, not spending the proper amount of time. And the DCF had, I don't know, at least 9 complaints and 9 requests to move this child out of that home. There were other people there, relatives, neighbors that wanted to take custody of this child and get her out of that unsafe, abnormal condition. She was found at one time alone in the home with a 26-year-old, and I'm going to call him pedophile. He raped the woman. The young girl. He raped this 5-year-old girl. I don't know what else he did to her, but then they dropped this girl off. Her dad worked at a convenience store. They dropped the young girl off there. She was unconscious. We don't know what happened to her. She never regained conscious. She died. Now, to add insult to injury, 2 days ago, the governor, Laura Kelly, said that she doesn't know what's going on with one of her departments, the Department of Children and Families. That's one of the departments of the governor's office. And she doesn't know what the hell's going on. She says they're not being transparent. Governor, you are supposed to be over this group. Now, when you took office 5 years ago, DCF was a problem. You said you would do better. You would improve the services of DCF. And in 5 years, you haven't done it. Now, here we have a debt. Will that move you off your, you know what? Are you monitoring the situation? Or is this another Kansas African American Affairs Commission, which is also under your jurisdiction, which is a department of your office that you allow to violate every statute pertaining to their duties and responsibilities? Are you doing the same thing here with DCF? And if so, how many other departments in your office are you allowing to run roughshod with unqualified people who don't give a damn about anything besides a paycheck? I'm saying and suggesting that it's time for a full-on investigation of the DCF and maybe even the governor's office itself, because something is amiss here. When we have the death of a 5-year-old, after there was at least nine reports telling you and alerting you that this child's life was in danger, this child was in an unsafe home, and your office refused to take any action, well, there's a problem with that, Governor Kelly. There's a problem. And the buck stops at your door. This is a department of your administration. They work out, this is a part of the governor's cabinet. They work under your jurisdiction, ma'am. The buck stops with you. And if you don't know, there's nobody else in that building, the Capitol, that knows. And if you don't know, it's because you're not paying attention, or you're not putting the right people in place, or you're not getting the information that you should be getting. Just like you're not getting any reports from the Kansas African American Affairs Commission after 5 years in office. There's a problem somewhere. All right, now, I want to tell you once again, ladies and gentlemen, this program has been brought to you by Squeegee Squad, your commercial window cleaner. Okay? That's my show for today. Thank you for watching.